Hey guys, it's Jenny, back again today with another topic. Take that year. If you would have told junior Jenny that she would be taking a gap year, I would have probably laughed in your face. The word gap year, or the phrase and the idea, genuinely scared me. Like, that was never a possibility. That I couldn't imagine that reality for me. I knew that straight after high school, I would be getting into an amazing university, which isn't a bad dream to have. When you live for others, it is incredibly difficult to know what's for you and what's for others. Why am I doing this? Am I doing it for the validation of others, or am I doing it because it's something that's passionate to me? At the beginning of my high school career, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. This autoimmune disease opened my perspective to so many things that I never thought about before, like being close to death and having to be in a hospital room for like a week straight, not knowing when I would get out, being appreciative of just the fact that I can step outside and smell the breeze and the flowers. I grew so appreciative of going to school because I had to be homebound all of freshman year. It led me to have big aspirations for my life. I knew that this happened for a reason, and that me going through this strange and out of nowhere experience happened for a reason. I knew that I was capable, or am capable, of so much, and it actually made me more interested in the medical field, which is something that I had always wanted to do, or always aspired to do one day. I met incredible doctors and nurses that I wanted to be like. But while I was discovering these new interests and my new life, now that I had to take medications and go to the hospital weekly and go to all these doctor's appointments, and my life was just never going to be the same, while that was happening and everyone was cheering me on, everyone supported me, I felt as though I had to please those people and live for those people in a way. Junior year, I took 4 APs to compensate for the fact that I didn't take any my freshman and my sophomore year. It was almost like I was trying to catch up to my peers who had taken a bunch of AP classes, and they, had higher GPAs than me because they took all these rigorous classes, while I was over here taking honors classes, just taking normal classes, disappointed in myself because I've always been an overachiever. And from that moment, I kind of later on realized how much of a toxic mentality I had surrounding school. It's kind of something that Stephen Covey goes on or talks about in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where you kind of have this like lose-win or win-lose mentality. And I had that win-lose mentality. Like, if I am not taking these rigorous classes and I'm not in these rooms, I'm not going to get a higher GPA. I'm not going to be as successful. I have to build myself up by not taking these easy classes. So I took these 4 APs, and although it was overwhelming, I sort of enjoyed some of the classes, and I went on my senior year to take 4 more because my goal was to get the AP capstone scholarship, or I don't know what it is. I think it's like a program. What did I want the capstone for? I didn't even know in the beginning, but later on I was like, oh yeah, I want it so I can look good to universities. Taking the 4 APs was probably the worst decision I could have made for myself. My schedule was drowned in schoolwork and these extremely hard classes that I wasn't even really passionate about, or I wasn't even really interested in them. I also skipped taking community college classes, which kind of gives you like a free period in my school. because I wanted to take as many AP classes as I could fit in my schedule so that it would look good to specific universities. What was once enjoyable for me, learning, challenging myself, soon became something that I dreaded every day that I went to school. In fact, I skipped school so much, it became a running joke that I would never be at school by my friends. And it was true. I was never at school. I had the worst case of senioritis. And yeah, I kind of did it to myself. But I did it to myself because I thought I was doing it for myself. I thought taking these classes was going to be something that was going to ultimately make me proud, and I was going to be super accomplished, and it was going to satisfy me and make me feel good. I still remember sitting in my calculus class, and I knew where all my peers were going. I knew that they were deciding on certain universities, and they were starting on their college admissions or applications and their college essays, and they were getting interviews, and I couldn't feel more out of place. Growing up, I had always been in these advanced classes, and I had always been told that I was incredibly smart. But senior year, and not even senior year as a whole, but that class made me feel incredibly out of place. Hearing these people talk about their list of schools, I was lost. I didn't know a thing. I hadn't researched any schools. There was only one school I had in mind at the time, and I felt overwhelmed every time I started my college applications. Every time I opened, Common App, I would just get anxiety and close it and be like, I'll deal with it later. So much so that when it was finally time for the deadlines, I wouldn't apply at early decision. Then I wouldn't reply regular decision. Then I didn't apply late decision, which eventually led me to not even applying at all. When I eventually did write my essay, it almost felt like an unwritten story. Like, I felt as though I hadn't finished this. I hadn't finished my story. I didn't really know what to say to them, because I felt as though, yeah, I could talk about my autoimmune disease and how much it's taught me, and how much being surrounded around people who are intelligent, like in hospitals, has taught me so much, and how much I've learned over my 4 years of high school. But it wasn't, I realized everything I did throughout my high school years was for other people. And it wasn't like other people were asking me to do stuff their way. It was more of me being a people pleaser and wanting to please my parents and get them a high GPA. Know that when I walk across that stage to graduate, that there's the word distinction behind my name. And I had that. I got that. I got the distinction behind my name. I got the 4.0 and above, and I got it from my parents, but it didn't satisfy me. In fact, it didn't fulfill anything that I had dreamed of. However, I put all my coins on one university, and I applied to one university. That is how bad my anxiety got, because I genuinely couldn't apply to other schools. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the capacity to just sit down and have to file I have to put all the information in my parents' taxes, have to answer the questions that the university wants you to answer. Like, it was all so draining. I could only apply to one. And that one school was sort of my dream school throughout all my 4 years of high school. And I ended up getting waitlisted. It was sort of devastating, but I only knew it was confirmation for me to take this year, because they waitlisted me, and then I kind of asked them to reconsider me, and I got waitlisted again. And then I asked them to reconsider me again, and I got waitlisted until fall 2027. And I was like, oh, well, that's when I plan to go back to school, so... But even then, I realized that all the school and classes weren't true to me. I was so set on a specific GPA for my parents and to just look good for other universities. I forgot that you choose the university. The university doesn't choose you. And of course, they can either accept or reject you. But in the end, you choose them. You choose where you feel you belong. And if there's a place that you think you belong and they don't accept you, it's because they don't see the true potential in you. They don't see what you exert, and that's not your place. Of course, I forgot that. And it made me see college and applications as this choose me competition, so much so that I was like, you know what, this is a lose-win. I'm not gonna win. Other people are gonna get it other than me, so I'm just not even gonna try. And aside from the college talk, I just didn't give myself enough time. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped praying. I stopped cooking for myself and eating healthy. I was super insecure and unhappy with my life. I forgot about my love for making videos, for reading, for music, painting, and just being creative. If even a little bit of this sounds relatable to you and sounds like it's something that you've also been struggling with, unpack it. I know that you're gonna want to put this to the side and you're gonna be like, oh, you know, this might be just something that I'm feeling in the moment or something that is gonna go away. I understand that, I do. But I also feel like if you give yourself the year of what hopefully will be a long life, it's a very short time to give to yourself. When you give so much and you live so much for others, no matter where you go, you will continue being that way. And you're gonna reach a certain age where you're gonna regret having lived for others rather than yourself. And you're gonna wish you went back in time and would have taken that year. No matter if it took you back to college or not, maybe it would have taken you to something better. It's all about how you plan your gap year. When it comes to actually planning the gap year, I remember telling people that I wanted to take a gap year, like people that I looked up to, and all of them were supportive. But many of them did tell me that it's important to plan out a gap year. And you don't have to plan it out every single day, you know, make it like a school schedule all over again. But plan out what you want to accomplish. What is it that you want to discover about yourself? For me, I kind of just started to dive back into the things that I loved the most. I also wanted to kind of discover where I was when it came to what I actually wanted in life. I had always said I wanted to be a doctor or I wanted to go somewhere in the medical field. But when I actually thought about it and I actually thought about medical school and I saw how difficult it was, I was like, is this actually something that I want? And business seemed more passionate. I was more passionate about business. I loved entrepreneurship. I formed this small business my junior year and I loved it, but it also didn't have my passion because it was more for my friend that I was working with at the time. And I was doing all these things, but they weren't really true to me. They weren't projects that I was like, I love doing this. I could do this for hours and feel like it's nothing. So I don't expect the year for me, I don't expect to know what I want to do or study when I go to university at the end of this year. All I want for myself is really to understand who I am. What are my hobbies? What are things I love to do? I love making videos and I love editing, and as embarrassed or shy as I am, I'm still gonna upload them because it's just something I've always liked. I've always liked doing this, and no matter how far away I go from it, it's always gonna be something I know and I'm gonna regret I'm not doing if I don't do it. So sitting down like this and being able to talk about topics like these, and also just giving advice and talking about these subjects or like topics has always been something that I love. My friends have always loved my advice. They always love talking to me when it comes to these topics, which is why I just love this, sitting down. And I've tried other forms of making videos like vlogs, but this seems more true to me. However, I will continue making vlogs. Some of the things I started doing throughout my gap year, or have started doing this summer, which hasn't really started. My gap year hasn't really started, but I've been kind of acting like it already started. I've been reading more. Currently, I'm reading like 3 books at the same time. I'm reading The Witness to Hope by George Weigel, I think is his name, which is like more of like a religious book. It talks about Catholicism and just its roots in a lot of, I love reading autobiographies and just stuff like that. So another book that I'm reading is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That one I'm just reading as like a personal kind of thing, like how to self-help kind of book. I'm currently like really obsessed with the personal mission statement that Stephen has us doing in the book, where you kind of remember what you kind of stand for or what you want to accomplish in life, and standing by that every single day. And then the third book I'm reading is The Devil Wears Prada. I have had this book for a long time, but I'm rereading as just like a fun book to have. I've also been drinking a lot of water. I actually have my wallet here. I have been drinking like 2 of these every day. I think when I was in school, I drank no water. Like, I would never drink water because I didn't like getting up and having to ask the teacher to pee every 5 seconds. So drinking water has definitely become a very good habit of mine now. Going back to the gym. I used to go to the gym every day with my mom last summer, and when I came back to school, I had a full schedule, so I had to be at school all day, but I still managed to go after school. Around 2nd semester, I stopped going entirely. Like, it was difficult to get me at the gym. And the gym had become this habit where I could de-stress and chill. I didn't have that anymore. So it made the stress so much worse, especially when I couldn't even have time. I didn't have any time, or at least I made the excuses that I didn't have any time because I was drowning in schoolwork. Going outside and just remaining active. Going outside is something that I have always struggled with, like just going outside and walking, like just do it, like, because I was so focused on being inside and getting schoolwork done, or going to Starbucks and getting schoolwork done. Like, there's more to life than schoolwork. Go outside, take a walk. And thankfully I've been good on that. I love reading books outside. I love playing with my dog outside. So it's just a good habit to have, and it keeps you happy. Journaling. So I love journaling. If you look behind me, all these books or all these journals are past journals that I've had. I have been journaling since 2020. 2020, yeah. I've been journaling since 2020, and it's been something that, I don't know, I love doing it. I love journaling. I love looking back at old journals. That's my favorite thing to do. Looking back at old journals and seeing how much you've grown throughout the years is the most satisfying thing ever. But senior year, I really stopped journaling. I didn't journal at all. Like, I have this journal here. I literally would never journal, ever. And that's why I've had it for so long, because I've had it for a long time because I never wrote in it. And recently I've been getting back into it, and it is such an amazing mechanism of just like it's therapeutic, because you could just write everything you're stressed about, everything that you're maybe procrastinating on. There have been so many times where I'll be writing and I'll be like, wait a second, this actually doesn't matter. Or I'll be like, wait, I think I know the solution. Watching movies and shows. So I would always feel guilty watching a movie or a show that I really enjoy throughout like my senior year, and even in the beginning of summer. I would feel guilty. Like, I'd literally be like, oh my gosh, I'm bed rotting. Like, you're just relaxing. I recently rewatched Rush Hour, The Hangover. Like, those are like I love comedies. Making videos. So I make and vlog. So I vlog a lot, but I never edit. I never sit down to edit because I'm like, oh, I don't have enough footage, or oh, I forgot to vlog by the end of this. Because at first I'm super motivated, and then towards the end of trips or like events, like I'll just stop vlogging because I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna do this anyway. I'm getting back into it. I'm doing better. I just recently uploaded my first video, which you should go and watch. And I plan to join a dance class soon. So there's this dance class, there's this dance place near me that has classes for young people, and dance classes has always been something that I wanted to dive into. I used to do like K-pop choreographies, and I would wake up at 5 a.m. to do them for hours until my family woke up, and then I stopped because I had to wake up so early because I didn't want my parents to see me, which is so funny thinking back now. But like, I was truly passionate about it. I loved doing it. So I can't wait to get back into that. And I'm excited about what I'm going to learn about myself. I'm excited to get back into going to church more frequently and praying more. I've been praying a lot more. Those are just some more of like things that I want to achieve, like getting closer to God again and just knowing that everything's going to be okay. And I'm a bit, excited, to go back to school. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, you know what? I'm excited to go to university because I'll be able to branch out in ways that I haven't before. And I didn't see it that way before. The hard part is it's hard to go against the crowd, but you're not the only one that's doing it. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Everyone's paths are different, and that's okay. When it comes to the acceptance of others, you have to be comfortable with making them uncomfortable and not having to meet their expectations anymore, because you're meeting your own expectations. If I told you that you had ceased to exist in a week, you would live for yourself right now. And I say, why wait until you know you're gonna die? Why not just do it now? You can't consider others' opinions because everybody's opinions is a projection of themselves. The Four Agreements is an amazing book that I always recommend to people who care a lot about what others think, because I care so much about what other people think sometimes. And I was always like that. I would always care about what others thought about me, about how I looked. It was incredibly bad my senior year. It might be embarrassing to some people what I'm doing right here, making a video to maybe no one's watching. But once I gain an audience, when I gain an audience, it's not going to be so embarrassing anymore. It's all about a perspective shift. And I think that it's difficult to change your perspective to not caring obviously, but it's possible. I have an English teacher who believed in me so much, or believes in me so much. She is absolutely incredible. I don't think if I had her my senior year, I would be here making this video. But she believed in me taking a gap year. In fact, she was like, Jennifer, this is the smartest thing that you have said to me all year. When she said that to me, I found it so funny because she also went through that same experience of needing that time for herself to know what she wanted to do. My doctor, who's a rheumatologist, took time before university, and she was also supportive of my idea, but she told me to have structure, and she told me to find myself. In fact, when I told her about my gap year, I told her that I actually planned to become a real estate agent throughout this year, and she looked at me and was like, Jennifer, then what's the point of the gap year? You have to take classes that cost money, you have to take an exam, then you have to get into a firm, then you have to pay the firm, and it's this school process all over again. So just take the time for yourself. And I think when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm chasing the very thing that I'm trying to get away from. I know that a year from now, I'm going to make an update video and I'm going to be able to tell you guys how amazing my gap year was. But for now, all I can tell you is to take my word for it. And if you want, you can go along on this journey with me. I'm going to be trying to remain active on YouTube and make a TikTok account to track my gap year and see what I learn. I say take the year. I know that with immigrant parents, it's a lot more difficult for you to be like, I'm taking a year, because then they think that you are going to just drop out and not do anything. But maybe if you give them a plan, like for my parents, I kind of had to give them a plan of what I was going to do this year. They were more considerate. They were like, okay, sure, take the year. My dad was a little more iffy about me. I knew that maybe no one was going to believe in me. I fully expected it and I prepared myself for it. But surprisingly, a lot of people were supportive, and even with the support, or even without the support, you have to have 2 feet planted on the ground and not let anyone move you, no matter what anyone says. I think that you're watching this video for a reason, and there's something inside of you that is telling you you need this. So give it to yourself. It's not a waste of time. It's a gift that is going to lead you to the greater you.